Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to your July 2019 general read. I'm Jade with Yes, Yes, Yes. Welcome back to the channel. And if you are new, welcome. Let me just explain what's going on. I start with an overall for the 2019 read. All of these cards come from that. The link to that is in the box below, as well as my website information and my email, which is yesYesYes.life.now@gmail. Right now my website's going through some changes, so I think it's down at the moment. But if you're interested in a read, you can just send me an email. I'd love to work with you. And for those who have been reaching out, thanks so much for working with me. It's been really interesting to see what the overall trends are and what we're all feeling. We're all kind of going through so much karmically. And this month is really intense. So Scorpio, this is nothing new for you. You know how to handle intensity by all means. It's like we've got tower moments here and there all for the next year or so. It's not always intense, but anyway, I know you can handle it. Let me think. Am I doing anything? Oh, let me know how you're feeling about it in the comments section. I love hearing the feedback. And if you do like the reading, hit that thumbs up button for me. It helps me out so much. And I'm going to do a Celtic cross spread after the main spread or the main talk, and then we'll see what's going on for you this month. This is for Sun, Moon, and Rising Scorpios, and again, general read, so take what works and leave the rest behind. So let's talk about your overall for this year. We have the completion card from the Mystic Shaman Oracle. This is a card of coming to a complete cycle, right? So this might be like a 9 personal year for some of you. I don't know if you do your numerology. I always like to look at my personal years. So look at what cycles are being completed for you this year. We're halfway through the year, so you might have had some completion already, or you're feeling it. You're feeling like things, you may not have enough time, or things are really starting to be pulled and get a little bit more pointed in their energy. You also had Taming the Wind, and you're the only sign that had 2 cards. They came out, I gave it to you. But Taming the Wind, lots of power here, Scorpio. This is making sure that whatever spirits are floating around, whatever, and the wind is also, communication, and it's spirit, it's intelligence, and it's communication. All of those things you are taming, you are in charge. It's all of your power this year. And I don't know if you can see all of that that's floating around. So you're pulling all of this stuff that's in the ether, floating around us, and pulling it into one solid, and again, pointed, I'll use that term, energy, okay? So you're pulling things that are frenetic together. That feels good. Okay, for this month, you have the Ace of Swords. So it's interesting talking about Taming the Wind. This is a card of communication, clear communication that cuts. It cuts straight through, and something needs to be said, needs to be started. Maybe there's some new words that need to be spoken. So Scorpio, your nature might be to say those things. This month, you might need to speak those truths, but just know it's clarified by the Anchor, which is a card of weight. It's also stability, though. So you may be speaking the truth in a relationship that is stable. Your truth may come out about, that you are a stable person, or that if you do speak it, say whatever needs to be said, it's going to bring more stability to a situation, okay? So we'll see how all of this plays out as we keep going. I use that kind of as a lens. So we're talking about communication in probably relationships in general. So we'll see how everything comes forward in this Celtic cross spread from the Rider-Waite. Now, I've pre-shuffled the cards, and I'm going to pull them a little differently this month while I talk. So feel free to forward wind if you like. I'm going to keep talking while I'm doing the spread, though. Okay. So let's see where it all begins. I'm just letting the cards choose me rather than jumping this time. Okay. So the way that I do this is I let my hand find the card, and I'm feeling for the weight. And if you read cards, you might feel, like a zing. Sometimes there's energy like that. Some people hear stop, like hear words, but most of the time I feel for things. It's more of a kinesthetic connection that I have. I do have a visual connection as well, so I can visually see cards light up. But I'm doing this with my eyes closed, actually. So this month of July, it's incredibly intense. We've got an eclipse coming up just right around the corner from, I'm recording this on the 1st. It looks like both these cards want to come. So the eclipse is coming tomorrow, the first one, which is solar eclipse, and then we'll have a lunar eclipse a little later. And again, this is challenging us in the areas where Cancer and Capricorn fall in your charts. So keep that in mind if you want to, if you're interested in astrology, there's so much richness and depth to a story, a personal story, and you can definitely see patterns. And I was explaining how this eclipse is the second of this type of eclipse where it's Capricorn and Cancer. 6, we got 4 more to go. And so this will connect to what began in January. So maybe you had an idea or something that popped up for you in January. But it's also going to continue on from what ended last summer, those last eclipses. I'm looking for 3 more. From the end of last summer, as well as from 18 years ago, because that would be what was going on, the last time that these eclipses were together. These eclipses happened 18 years ago, and I was explaining this, that 18 years ago I was in a relationship that ended, and it was amicable how it ended. So what's happened for me is that the new fiance of the person who I was in relationship with, I met the other day just randomly, and it was like I was passing the torch on to her. So it was really quite lovely. It was what do we call it? A beautifully beautifully weird connection. It wasn't awkward. It was just weird, but it was perfect. And so those are the kinds of things that may come forward for you. Is that something is repeating in a weird way, in a very weird way, that's bringing up some emotional, not necessarily trauma, but processing that's needed because it's Cancer season. And this is all happening in Cancer. Okay. But for you, Scorpio, let's see what's going on for you. Okay, so we've got High Priestess card. This is you're looking into your intuition, wondering if there's any secrets around, feeling for it. I feel like this is just you doing that check to make sure that everything is in alignment with what Scorpio needs and wants in life. I feel you in this card so much because I feel every Scorpio that I know is definitely a High Priestess, is definitely in alignment, reading through and actually using words and feeling through the energy of what's going on to know, you guys are you're very understanding of what your intuition is telling you to do, when you get intuitive hits to say yes or no, this the BS meter that you have, all that. So I feel like this is you just checking in on what's going on, making sure that there's no secrets around you right now. Let's see. We've got 5 of Cups in the reverse. So you actually are feeling pretty good at this point. It seems right now, Scorpio, is that whatever, and maybe you're feeling not so good because you have to check, so I'll give it to both of you that way. You can go either way on it if you choose. Maybe you're not feeling good because you always have to check because, people aren't in as a highest alignment and they're not in their highest version of themselves like you are, and it's kind of hard to keep yourself up there and keep making sure that, you're only allowing for the people who are keeping you in your, with you in your highest alignment. You have to, I'm having trouble with my words. Sorry, Mercury retrograde is happening soon. But I feel like Scorpio's at this level. And Scorpio's checking to make sure that everybody in Scorpio's life is also at that level. Otherwise, those people are going to fall away. So you're kind of at the checkpoint maybe in your season right now of completion, where you're like, all right, this is the thing. I gotta cut some people out, cut some things out, okay? Now the foundation of this, 10 of Cups in the reverse. We could be talking about a family situation that didn't work out. A relationship in the past, perhaps, or perhaps it's an underlying energy, a story that you have that relationships don't work out, okay? And so now it's possible, be aware that you could be self-sabotaging. I don't want to tell you that you are if you're taking care of yourself in a positive way. You only know that for you. Just be aware of it, that be open to the change. Don't let the story of relationship not working be your story, because that's not the truth, okay? But it is an underlying energy right now. You may be trying to just process through that, and that could be what's up for review here in this Cancer season. In the near past, we have your energy, Scorpio. We have deep transformation. This could have been your birthday season. What we're talking about was that was maybe the last time that you felt empowered. But I feel like recent past is you are owning all of what we talk about in Scorpio nature. So you're owning the transformation, the secrecy, the sharp tongue. You're owning all of that as your story. You're owning all of that, and that could be what is separating you in relationship, okay? Could also be that you are in relationship with another Scorpio, okay? Now, what's happening for you right now? We've got 5 of Swords. This is an uncomfortable truce. It's not in fighting. You're not actually fighting. What you're doing is protecting yourself. You still have your sword up, even though others have put it down, because you don't trust the situation, okay? So there could be silence. I'm feeling like this is a relationship that's kind of, you know, it might be in separation. You may have blocked each other or are not in speaking. You know, you could be in silence right now, but this family situation went sideways. So you could have been living together, you could have children together, that type of thing. Could have been with another Scorpio, or you may have been in your Scorpio nature, which can be harsh sometimes, you know this, in the past. But there was deep transformation because of all of this. We could be talking about a karmic relationship where you're learning a lot from each other, but there's also a lot of resistance because it can be very heavy and very deep. And sometimes you got to come up for air, okay? So you might be in that place now where you're just getting some air, this 5 of Swords energy, that truce. You're still on guard though. So keep that in mind. You're just on guard. Maybe the other person is on guard as well. Nobody seems to be speaking right now. You may want to speak, but doesn't seem like, or at least one party may want to speak, or at least is watching the other, but there's another party that's like, nope, I'm out. I'm just gonna, you know, do my own thing for a bit. I'm hurt. I don't want to speak to this right now, okay? In the near future, 3 of Swords, it came out in the reverse. That's good. So if there is a connection that you do come back together to work things out, to talk about things, whatever grief, whatever pain is gone, okay? You can work through that. There is going to be that. This could be where what you're feeling right now, but it is going to change, okay? Again, Scorpio, lots of change. So there's heartache here on the table. Scorpio, what's going on? Relationship looks like it went sideways. Now, this could be, if we're talking about the basic, you know, your baseline here, right? Your High Priestess. You could be kicking yourself because you felt like you knew that this was going to happen, right? This is your story, is that, you know, relationships never work out, or people always treat you like this way, or you know, you're too strong for other people to handle, or too much, you know, too blunt for other people to handle. Whatever that story is, you feel like that you knew it, and you're kind of upset with yourself because it's happened again. Like, we're in this cycle. The relationship went crazy, or it went sideways. you were in your power, and I'm feeling like there was a little bit more compassion that could have been brought in, or you had to separate yourself because the other party perhaps was not acting right either. Now, I don't, you know, that's totally possible. So again, Scorpio, there's all kinds of ways in which this can play out. Just keep in mind, I'm doing my best with all of the stories to keep it as general as possible. But what it's looking like is whatever pain, grief, or loss that there has been, you're going to come out of it. Okay, it's going to be released, and it may need to happen with the conversation, but we'll see. I'll clarify. Okay, now how are you seeing this? Ace of Swords. You got double Ace of Swords here. You're looking at like this needs to be truth that needs to be spoken. Okay, and if the truth needs to be spoken to give you more security in this situation, then that's the truth. That's what needs to come out. Okay. The other thing is that if your truth needs to be spoken, that this thing is weighting you down and it doesn't feel good anymore, and you got to let it go, then you have to speak the truth. Okay. This sword cuts. It cuts for the higher good, but it can be harsh. So again, try to be compassionate with your words when it is time, okay? Let's see how the other party or other people see it. They're feeling left out. So Scorpio, you might have left them because they were misbehaving, or maybe they're seeing it as just a separation and it's just cold and bitter, okay? So I don't know if you both are seeing it that way, but there's definitely some kind of separation, and some truth, some communication does need to come in, or at least you're feeling that, okay? Now, hopes and fears. 9 of Swords. It's keeping you up at night, okay? So this is surprising for me, actually, Scorpio, because I feel like you're a doer. Maybe that because the other person is not speaking to you, maybe they've blocked you, you've blocked them. Somehow there's just not the ability to speak, and so with that, it's, you know, you're going over and over things in your mind, and it's keeping you up at night. You know, this is the take some herbs to try to sleep through it. Because it's not healthy, okay? So, you know, we need to release whatever needs to be said. Otherwise, these swords are gonna keep you up, okay? They're gonna keep you trapped even, because the 8 of Swords, again, is also very close to this one. So this is all going on in your mind. And I feel like when that truth of words comes out, then it won't be in your mind anymore. It'll be out in the world. And that's, again, that's your fear, is that it's just going to be stuck and locked in your mind, and that perhaps it can be something that sticks in your story, right? We don't want that either. We don't want this to be part of your karma, where whatever the story is, that you just can't handle relationships, or people just can't handle you, you know, whatever it is that you're tearing yourself up about right now, Scorpio. Now let's see what the final outcome is. Okay. We've got 9 of Pentacles in the upright. So this is a positive in feeling good, taking care of yourself, being independent. So, but it also is a card of being single. Okay, so I'm just being honest here, and that what it's looking like here is the way in which to get to this place of not feeling pain or suffering anymore is to feel good on your own. Now, it's possible to be in relationship and still have this. It's very difficult. I've never met, well, that's not true. I've met a few people who are very good at being independent in relationship, okay? And what I mean by that is interdependent, and having this, you know, the ability to be in such conscious relationship that, you know, it really doesn't matter if that person walks away. Like, there's really no tendrils of connection that are karmic or anything. So it's just, it takes a very special, highly evolved relationship for two people to be in that. I'm not saying that can't be you by any means. It absolutely can, and this could be your journey to get to that place. What I'm gonna say for the majority is that it's looking like a relationship ended. There's a struggle to let it go. You will survive it. You will relieve your grief. when the truth is spoken and you get it out of your head. Now, this truth may not be spoken to that other person. You may have to go to a counselor. You may have to do some writing, journaling, find another way for an outlet. But what it's looking like is the final outcome is that when you release this truth that's been a burden, that has anchored you down, that's weighed you down, and look at these waters. These are your turbulent waters, right? So whatever this is that's coming up, and I'm feeling like this could have been, like for me, it could have been a relationship 18 years ago that you didn't even realize was still kind of in your energy. And this is the stuff to let go of so that then you can get to this place. Because if you've been trying to manifest a relationship and it's the same old story and the same old story, it's because it's the same old story and there's something left over, maybe from 18 years ago, maybe from a year ago or 6 months ago, that's got to get released. And the truth of what it is, you need to speak at least to yourself, okay? At the very least, you got to confront this on your own. It may not be for the other person to hear the truth, okay? I'm going to clarify though. I want to find out what this 5 of Swords is in the present energy for Scorpio. This is an intense reading, Scorpio. I would not expect anything less from you. So what is this present energy, 5 of Swords energy for Scorpio? What is the present energy, 5 of Swords for Scorpio? So it's all gonna be okay. It's all crashing down so that you can rebuild it, okay? Let it go. Just let it all crash down, okay? So while you're in this uncomfortable truce of not speaking, or this could have been, you know, however long it's been going for, this is the process that's been happening, okay? This is an underlying energy. So this is like the platelets of the earth shifting, and the earthquake occurs after the fact, okay? Or the volcano erupts after the fact. So right now, the platelets are shifting and it's coming, okay? It doesn't have to be doom and gloom. It doesn't have to be, you know, dramatic by any means. There's a major change coming, and this is what you are good at, Scorpio. You are in your power here. So even though this is an intense reading, this is all of you. This is all you in your power. So I feel like, and if this is, you know, recent relationship and it's still very painful to discuss, I'm sending you extra energy right now. What I will say though is that it's time to release that so that something beautiful, so that you can be in this place. This is really all that's promised to you, okay? So we're clarifying the 3 of Swords in the reverse, and we got the Star card in the reverse. So Aquarian energy in the reverse. We have to let go of whatever future plans you might have had with this other person, or in that dream of all dreams. Whatever this was that you thought it was, or they thought it was, or whatever, it's got to get let go of. Blah, blah, blah. It's got to get let go of, okay? It's not right for you. There are other things that are right for you. It's just going to create more pain and suffering if you try to hold on, okay? Or if that person tries to hold on to you, Scorpio, okay? Now I want to see what else is coming for you with this 9 of coins, 9 of pentacles. What else is promised? What else is coming forward? Okay, we're just getting cards thrown. In the outcomes, Sun card, so much success. Leo energy here. There's success for you when this happens, when you embrace this 9 of coins in yourself. Interdependence, but independence as well, okay? Looking at all that you've accomplished, not only financially, but what, you know, being able to take care of yourself is a huge accomplishment. Not having to be in relationship, not having to depend on anyone else is a huge accomplishment. Having the fearlessness to go deep into having deep transformation. You know, when the tower comes, a lot of people run. A lot of people resist it. But you, Scorpio, are like, no, bring it. I need to get rid of this. I need to freshen this place up. Okay? What else did we have? Ace of Cups. It did come out in the reverse. So this is no, we're not going to do anything that's emotional. That's, you know, no new emotional beginnings, just to be clear, okay? This is all about you healing you, okay? So I'm just being blunt because I love me some Scorpio and you don't want me to sugarcoat anything. No new relationship, no starting over, just do you. That's where your success is. That's where your love is. That's where the universe gets behind you to support you. Now, it is possible you may need to say it to someone else. You may need to speak the truth if you're kind of in a holding pattern with them, and you guys have just been, you know, taking a break. But that Tower is here. I even talked about that before this. But anyway, very intense reading, Scorpio. I feel like you won't get tripped up on this. If this is fresh, it will take some time to embrace this energy in yourself. But this is a very powerful and positive reading for you, Scorpio. And what's really great about this is because we're in eclipse season, this energy is going to stick with you for another 6 months, and then it's going to reveal itself again in your life in 18 years, just like it's, you know, but in a different form. So keep that in mind too, is that you don't want to keep playing this game. You don't want to keep redoing this over and over again so it keeps sticking around. No, not at all. That's not for you, Scorpio. You're ready to wipe your hands of things that don't serve you, people who can't keep up with you or maybe even try to mistreat you, that type of thing. Because if this is what it means, you know, if this is where your success is feeling good on your own, then by all means, I think Scorpio is the most powerful and the strongest of the zodiac to take it, okay? And I'm a Scorpio rising, so I'm feeling this as well. I feel this energy with you guys. And I keep myself out of these readings, but I know this energy so well that, you know, if it's got to be done on your own, it's got to be done on your own. And the thing is that we can always turn this around so that this Ace of Cups, this beautiful emotional offer can come in when we're feeling good, okay? You always have the power to turn any of this around, to be honest. So, you know, if you don't want this, if you want to continue to play this as your story where relationships don't work or whatever it is, and that you have to go back and fuse it together to work it out so that, you know, I mean, you can choose that if you want to. The way that the cards are saying is they're saying just let it go, speak the truth, come out of this pain and suffering that you're feeling right now, and find your strength on your own. All right, Scorpio, it's a tough one. I'm sending you all my love. I'll speak to you guys soon.